I kid you not when I say Dancing Star Night was my most anticipated game of 2018. Persona 5 is my favorite game of all time, so when I heard Dancing Star Night got announced, I waited for it with building excitement. After such a long wait, I got it immediately after it was released. Was it worth the wait? Was it worth the 8,000 yen for the digital copy I bought? Well, let's see if Persona 5 Dancing Star Night lived up to the hype. Also, for those wondering, I spent around 70 bucks on the game to get it day one for the PS Vita. For those who know me personally, no, I will not gush too much about Futaba in this video. I'm saving all that love for the Persona 5 review itself. I did, however, use Futaba in every song I could as to make up for the lack of my waifu in this video. Dancing Star Night is the non-canon spin-off to Persona 5. It's one part dancing rhythm game and another part visual novel. Dancing Star Night doesn't have a full-on campaign mode like Dancing All Night, but there is a story here. Our heroes, the Phantom Thieves, get transported to a mysterious Velvet Room style club where Caroline and Justine pretty much tell them to dance and do their thing. Alright, so I should probably make it apparent that I'm not exactly fluent in Japanese, and due to that, I can't tell what anyone is saying most of the time. I know enough Japanese to navigate my way around the menus and basically understand uber simple stuff said, but I can't really comment on any conversations or plot that happens over the course of the game. Where the big bulk of the narrative comes from is the Commu feature. Basically, you interact with one main character for each of their arcs, with other characters occasionally joining in. It's essentially a friend or dating sim, and I really like this mode. I may not be able to fully understand what all is being said, but the character's body language speaks really loudly. Each of the main Phantom Thief members, along with Caroline and Justine, have 8 story segments for their Commu link. After you complete the first 5 chapters, you are allowed to explore each character's room freely and find a lot of fun references and fan service for fans of the main game. It's also really weird to see the other side of Joker's room in LeBlanc from this angle. Now, I don't exactly understand how the Commu chapters were unlocked fully, but once you play the game enough, they start to unlock in bulk. Reading and watching through Commu chapters was not only fun because you get to spend time with your favorite characters, you also get new costumes and equipment for everyone in game. Equipment doesn't have any real effect on anything other than dialogue and cosmetics though. Still, I love how much content they put into the game. I'm 30 plus hours in and I still haven't unlocked everything, even after I beat the game. When you do unlock stuff, you can outfit your characters before dances. You can also go into the collection menu and look at everything you have unlocked and essentially play dress up with all the characters. You're able to pose them, listen to voice lines, and other really cool things. Now, let's get into the actual bulk of the gameplay, and that is the musically charged and button tapping goodness that is the dancing mode. The goal of this mode is simple to understand, easy to get the hang of, but hard to master. All you have to do is hit the button that corresponds with each note at the correct time, or at least as close to it as you can get. Some notes are a single button press, while others are stretched out. There are only a few note varieties in total, but there doesn't need to be many when you are frantically trying not to miss notes or scratches to achieve Queen Crazy mode. Scratches are scored when you hit the moving rings on the screen by hitting either analog stick when the ring is near its target. There are also fever rings that if you hit enough times, will let a computer dance partner come and dance along with you for more visual flair and points. The game has challenge, even on the easier modes due to how flashy everything is, coupled with the speed each note moves at. Once you advance to a higher difficulty, however, these earlier stages become a breeze. It's all about just getting comfortable with the way the game controls. The controls are thankfully very responsive, and I never felt like the game was cheating me out of a note. Although, when on all night mode, notes start flying all around the stage, and your eye-hand coordination will be put to the ultimate test. I really liked how the game looks, from the menu visuals to the background effects and level design, right down to the character models. Everything is bright and it all pops vibrantly out at you. There isn't a single dull or moody color. Everything is primary and secondary colors, and it really lightened my mood to see all these warm, soft colors dance around with everything else happening on the screen. While the UI does make all the dancing goodness a bit hard to see when in normal dance gameplay modes, there thankfully is the option to watch characters' dances and the music videos without the UI or gameplay. This lets you enjoy your waifu or husbando dance around in the costume you chose for them without any risk of you losing your score. The character character models are all fully animated this time around, and while I do miss the character portraits from Persona 5, the models have a lot of emotion, coupled with some really fun voice work. There is a bit of clipping on certain models, but this wasn't enough to ruin anything for me. The dancing was all apparently based on real choreography, and it shows. Each dancer had their own style of movement, ranging from Anne's more modern dance, to Haru's elegant ballet, to Futaba's whatever she is doing. It all hit the beats of the track and looked great. All the alternative costumes were stellar, and they ranged from adorable to awesome. Futaba was cute in every piece of clothing she got, and I loved that when you chose the Phoenix Ranger Featherman R costume, she enthusiastically shouts out the name of the show. Granted, all the other characters say the same thing, but she says it so lovingly, it's a wonderful nod to her character. It really was a lot of fun to see the entire gang dressed up like Super Sentai characters, or matching costumes for big group dances. Each dance had a base character, but most of the time, you could have up to 2 side dancers for fever sections. You were able to select who you wanted your co-dancers to be. Each of the characters had different interactions with each other, and this gives each dance number quite a bit of replay value to see them all. Although I could barely understand most of what was being said by the voice cast, the Japanese voice actors did a stellar job. I know I said I wouldn't gush, but Futaba just sounded so darn cute, and anytime she said any of her goofy lines or made noises, I smiled hard. Morgana also had a very fun voice, and voices just sounded really solid. But this is an Atlas game, so that's expected. Now let's talk about easily one of the biggest parts of the game. The music. Persona 5 has one of my all-time favorite soundtracks, and almost all those songs are present here, either in the form of the original or done up as a variety of remixes. If you like the base soundtrack to Persona 5, I already know you're gonna like what this game has to offer. Some of the remixes didn't sound as good as the original, but they still were really pleasant on the ears. Although, while I did appreciate the inclusion of the ending credits to both this game and Persona 5, I was disappointed that their stages were literally just the credits with the UI pasted over it. Well, that was disappointing. What wasn't was the music videos for Life Will Change, Last Surprise, and some of the DLC tracks like the Phoenix Ranger Featherman R theme. If I had to choose a favorite bass song and a favorite remix, I'd choose Life Will Change since that is my favorite track overall, and my favorite remix would have to be the one done for The Days When My Mother Was There. The main theme for the game absolutely suits the title of groovy. Let's Go Featherman is never going to leave my head, and I keep finding myself humming it all the time. Although, to be fair, that's most of the soundtrack for me. In the end, I loved this game, and it really lived up to the hype. This is one of those games that no matter what mood I'm in, I just turn it on and play it for a bit, and while I do, I just start to smile. It's just so nice to see all these characters once again, and it makes me really happy that the game is just so cheery and upbeat. There's just this overwhelming sense of positivity, and that's why it is my go-to game when I need something to cheer me up. Honestly though, if you're a fan of Persona, rhythm games, or just solid games in general, I highly recommend you pick this up and give it a play. It was well worth my money's worth, and I know it's going to be the same for you, especially when it's released in North America. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider sharing this video with a friend, or checking out my Patreon linked in the description below. A massive shout out to the amazingly wonderful Rizzy for shouting me out. Rizzy recently released an awesome video on The Last Jedi, and I highly recommend you go give it a watch. That video will be linked in the description below as well. If you have any recommendations, let me know. And a huge heartfelt thank you as always to the show's anonymous patron. Their support helped me get the equipment needed to make this episode even possible. Anyway, until next time, this is Thierry signing off until the next video. See you guys.